They just want to play.
We have to go home now. Come on.
Five Nights at Freddy's fans just got their first peek at the movie version of Toy Freddy. This new look at the animatronic character, who will appear in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, was revealed on the first official poster for the sequel, shared during Blumhouse's showcase at New York Comic Con. In this movie, Toy Freddy stands out from the classic Freddy Fazbear thanks to his sleeker, more plastic look, as he's part of the toy line of animatronics, which includes other new versions of characters like Bonnie and Chica. You can check out the first look at Toy Freddy on the poster thanks to Blumhouse. The first poster for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 confirms the release date, December 5th, 2025. That means fans only have to wait a bit over 2 years after the first movie hit theaters, so not too long at all. The original Five Nights at Freddy's movie was a huge hit, especially on Peacock, where it became available shortly after its theatrical run. Fingers crossed, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 might follow a similar path, letting fans watch from home not too long after it's in theaters. There's a chance fans have already gotten a sneak peek at Toy Freddy from some of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 teasers, though he wasn't quite as polished as he looks in this new poster. Both Blumhouse and Jim Henson's Creature Shop, who are handling the animatronics again for this sequel, have been dropping behind-the-scenes glimpses of their work on the new animatronics. People have even recognized a few familiar faces in these rough, unfinished models, sparking predictions about which characters could show up in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's pretty fitting that Toy Freddy's making this movie debut in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, since that's exactly where he showed up in the games. Since then, he's popped up in a bunch of titles like Five Nights at Freddy's 3, 4, and even the Help Wanted games. Sometimes he's more of a background cameo, showing up on posters or cutouts rather than full appearances. But honestly, Toy Freddy is pretty tame on the scare scale, definitely not the creepiest of the bunch. Balloon Boy probably takes the crown for being the least scary in FNAF 2. Balloon Boy isn't exactly terrifying, he's more of a harmless presence than a scary one. Dressed in a striped shirt, holding a little sign, and cheerfully greeting players with a hi, he doesn't do much in the way of direct attacks. Instead, Balloon Boy messes with gameplay by disabling your flashlight, which can be more annoying than threatening, especially on the earlier levels. As a toy animatronic, Balloon Boy has a cleaner, newer look, missing that worn, broken-down appearance that makes some of the other animatronics so unsettling. And while his polite hello might catch you off guard, he doesn't really bring much fear to the table. In Five Nights at Freddy's, Balloon Boy might seem like just a harmless running joke, but a popular theory hints that his role could be more tragic than it appears. Though he mainly shows up to spook Mike Schmidt, the protagonist, there might be a deeper meaning to his scattered, less intense scares. Unlike the other animatronics, who are menacing and deadly, Balloon Boy's jump scares are pretty mild, only briefly startling Mike when he pops up unexpectedly. This softer approach makes him feel less like a threat and more like a lonely character trying to be noticed, hinting at a sadder backstory behind his appearances. At first glance, Balloon Boy might seem like he's just there to mess with Mike, but one theory suggests a darker reason behind his constant appearances. This Five Nights at Freddy's theory speculates that Balloon Boy could actually be possessed by the soul of Garrett, Mike's brother, who was kidnapped by William Afton, the series' main villain. In the story, Afton is known for killing children whose souls were then trapped within animatronics, so it's possible Garrett met the same tragic end. If his soul is indeed inside Balloon Boy, it would explain Balloon Boy's persistent yet harmless attempts to get Mike's attention, adding a heartbreaking layer to his character. If Garrett's soul is really inside Balloon Boy, it changes those harmless jump scares entirely. Balloon Boy might seem like a funny little gag meant to spook Mike, but if it's actually Garrett's spirit trying to reach his brother, his appearances suddenly feel way more tragic. Instead of just a prankster, Balloon Boy could be a lost soul searching for his brother, only to accidentally scare him away. This theory flips Balloon Boy's role, making him a deeply emotional character with ties to Mike's story, which could shape future sequels. In fact, Balloon Boy's cameo in a Five Nights at Freddy post-credit scene might hint at a bigger role ahead. His quick jump scare at the end, this time spooking a taxi driver, might seem like another throwaway joke, but it could be a setup. With Five Nights at Freddy's 2 confirmed by Josh Hutcherson, there's a real chance Balloon Boy could return as a more central character. possibly even helping Mike uncover the truth. If so, Mike's fear of Balloon Boy would take on a sad new meaning, adding a very emotional element to the story. The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie really needs to confirm or debunk the Garrett and Balloon Boy theory to clear up the franchise's storyline. Right now, it's tough to enjoy Balloon Boy's jump scares as just a funny gag when there's a chance he's actually haunted by Garrett's soul. If the theory is debunked, Balloon Boy can stick to his role as a lighthearted, goofy scare. But if it turns out Garrett's soul really is trapped in Balloon Boy, it makes him a far more intriguing character, and his connection with Mike takes on a much deeper emotional angle. Clarifying this theory would allow fans to fully appreciate the potential story behind Balloon Boy and Garrett's connection. On top of everything else, the sequel really needs to tackle the big mystery left hanging after the original Five Nights at Freddy's movie. While it seems likely that the sequel will continue Mike's story, there are other characters whose fates are still up in the air. The original movie ended with the animatronics dragging their tormentor, William Afton, back into the depths of Freddy Fazbear's, leaving fans wondering what happened next. Given the brutal injuries Afton sustained from the Yellow Rabbit costume, it's likely he didn't survive the encounter. If he didn't die right away, the vengeful animatronics, driven by the spirits of their child victims, probably finished him off. However, the film never explains what happened to the animatronics themselves. Interestingly, the animatronics aren't necessarily trapped in the restaurant, since both the movie and the games show they can interact with the outside world from time to time. But we still don't know the fate of the children's ghosts inhabiting the animatronics. They might still be trapped in their robotic forms until something sets them free. Abby's mention of possibly returning to see her friends, the animatronics, hints that they're still in the restaurant and could make a comeback in the upcoming sequel. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has a great opportunity to reveal what happened to the animatronics. With so many spin-offs and sequels in the game series, there are plenty of directions the movie can take. William Afton's famous line, "I always come back," suggests he'll return, just like in the games. If he does come back, it gives the animatronics a solid reason to return as well. They could be out for revenge against their twisted creator, or at least try to stop him from causing more harm. Plus, there are Easter eggs in the first movie that hint at the animatronics making a comeback in a sequel, potentially reflecting the storyline of one of the game's sequels. For instance, the scene where Mike, Abby, and Vanessa team up with the animatronics to build a sleepover fort could point to an adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which was the first game to introduce Vanessa and let players hop inside one of the animatronics for protection. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest update. Thanks for watching the video, and we will see you at the next one.